Speaking of getting off my lawn, how's that for a segue? We wanted to talk about Scott Walker a little bit, and not about Scott Walker because he's sort of just the victim in all of this, or more explicitly, his parents are. And this is a story I didn't really pay that much attention to, other than the leftists kind of are at it again. There's no one and nothing that they won't protest and get angry about, and they're so full of the righteous anger, and they have to let it out somewhere. And this week they apparently they let out their anger via protesting at Scott Walker's parents' house. What was that all about? Somebody explain it to me.
This annoys me. And it annoys me because this is a left tactic that the Mafia would use. They've adopted Mafia tactics, Mafia rules, in order to silence, intimidate, harass people with whom they disagree. They've done it with the folks during the AIG bank bailout, the AIG bailout bonus business. They showed up at executives' houses where just the kids were in the house. They've done it across the country. I know, Leslie, you were talking about something kind of related in California.
Oh, back in the I guess it was a couple of years ago when California was doing the Defense of Marriage Act, or whatever they were calling it over there. There were people that were donating to the political. It was the no hate thing, the Proposition 8 deal, that was so rabid. And what happened was the Democrats were finding out who had been donating to political causes, and they were following them on the street and protesting and outing them at their places of business and making life miserable for people who had donated $25. And they were attacking all the Mormons because the Mormons were called by their church to donate to this political cause to preserve marriage, and they were being raked over the coals, and their businesses were being brought into question, their jobs were being brought into question, and that was absolutely mafia bullying tactics. And it was because of open records about political donations, and California is trying to get even more on that they would know even more about your political donations in California. And it's a way for the leftists, because it's always the leftists that do it. The right does not play these games. We just flat do not torture people or torment people for their political donations. We support free speech for even our enemies. Unfortunately, it's not a two-way street. We don't get our free speech supported, but they're trying to do even more of that and suppress free speech. And they did this to Walker a couple years ago with all of the school stuff too. I mean, this is very much a through line of of a leftist tactic that we have to
Right.
be afraid of.
And you remember the image, how that worked out for them in the middle of that fight over the recall stuff. It got
True, it did
ugly.
bounce back. It
Now,
did bounce
JD,
back.
JD, there was a story. I remember we talked about it earlier today. Somewhere in the heartland where people showed up on somebody's lawn. I can't remember where. It was like Nebraska or Kansas. Do you remember?
I I don't recall, and neither does Wisconsin.
Oh man! Oh man! You should have warned me on that. I could have had the drums doing the but up this. Yeah, there we go. There we go. A little
Nice.
delayed, but
That was nice. Okay, so this is harassment of his parents too, by the way. That uh,
yeah.
that
What was the
begs the
reasoning on that?
question.
I don't understand.
That begs the question. What do you do if you're the parents? Do you come out and look pitiful and give the conservative side that ammunition that all these crazy people are harassing poor little grandma and grandpa? Or do you come out with your gun looking like you're going to pick them off one by one on the lawn? Which is the better message?
I'm guessing that Scott Walker's parents physically could not go out on the front lawn and be the poor pitiful me. I mean, they raised a kid, Scott Walker. They're his parents. They're probably more like stand there on the porch with their hands on their hips and going, "Get off of my lawn." But yeah, what do you do? And this tactic of protesting at your parents' house or at your place of business, the whole idea is just to scare you into not being politically active because you don't want your parents to get involved. Okay, I can't donate to your cause. I can't come out as a conservative because I need to be able to still sell widgets. And I can't come out as a conservative or donate to your political cause because my granny's in a wheelchair
Well,
and I
right.
don't want to scare her.
By doing all of those intimidation tactics, they're trying to control your actions, your beliefs, what you're saying, what you're doing, because who wants to be targeted by all these bullies? Which also brings up an important question in my mind that I've wondered about for a long time. The left is always pushing anti-bullying. You go to any public school and the walls are plastered with anti-bully messaging. But what's their go-to tactic? Bullying.
Oh my God, I'm reading the chat, and I got to say the message here is that okay, JD, I guess it's one of your fans, somebody who wants JD for president 2016, or maybe it's your mom, I don't know. I watched Walker tonight in an interview about it, and he was great. Apparently, Walker said, "Well, Dad turned down his hearing aid a bit." That's a perfect answer. That is spot on perfect. And Mom, she told me she wanted to go out and give them all oatmeal cookies. Oh my God. That is so great.
No,
we've got to get
gluten.
that on screen.
Gluten. She's a terrorist. And he's talking about how he didn't have qualifications. The people they were interviewing who were actors couldn't do it. The people who were salespeople were uncomfortable on camera. But they gave him 8 minutes to prove himself, and he did. And so for the people that are criticizing Walker, he's been given his 8 minutes now to prove himself, to be able to answer the charges of whether he is qualified. It's going to be great to see Walker take that 8 minutes, figuratively, and spend it showing what he's got.